baseball game. Yankees against the Mariners. Yankees looking for the sweep. They've taken the field. Severino is taking his warm-ups, and we're taking a look at the Mariners starting lineup brought to you by Lexus. D. Gordon at second will lead off. Batting second, the center fielder Mitch Haniger. Denard Span in left field will hit third. Cleaning up the DH, Nelson Cruz. Kyle Seager at third base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, first baseman Ryan Healy. Ben Gamble in right field bats seventh. Batting eighth, the catcher Mike Zunino. And Andrew Romine is going to play shortstop, and he will bat ninth.
That's right. Sevy on the bump and the boogie down Bronx in a day game. Look at those numbers. Very thin. He good. Bunch of punchies, too. Not a lot of walks. Let's give you the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And the Broom, Sevy's AL ranks, I mean, across the board, what can you say? I mean, second ERA, wins, WAR, Kluber's first. Second ERA to Verlander. I mean, this kid is in the Cy Young Award race once again. He finished third last year. Protect this house. 1.52 ERA at home, ranks third in Major League Baseball behind Snell and Lester. And the Yanks have won his last 12 home starts, Paulie.
You know, the longest streak since that point, or that's the longest streak since a young man by the name of David Cone won 16 straight home starts, the team did.
Coney.
97 of August to August of 98.
Loved pitching at home and couldn't wait to go out afterwards.
Because you knew where you were going.
Yes,
1-2 punch.
Extra motivation.
D. Gordon's ready. Severino is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch, up and away, and we are underway. Marvin Hudson is the home plate umpire. Kerwin Danley at first. Quinn Walcott at second. And James Hoy is a third base ump. Now, D. Gordon hits .292 overall, but when he's leading off a game, .356 hitter, 21 hits and 59 at bats.
Got a chance to talk to D before the game a little bit, Paul. He played with his father, Flash.
Nice.
Tom Gordon, the pitcher.
Bunt. Going to roll foul.
Flash Gordon, one of the better curveballs I've ever seen when he broke into the big leagues, and then became a power pitcher. Pitched with the Yankees for a while.
He really did have an under-the-radar great career and a great curveball. And he would tell you about it, too. He'd ask him, Flash, you got a good curve? And he'd say, you don't know? You better ask somebody. Flash Gordon. Stephen King, the great novelist, actually included him. Tom Gordon in one of his books. Flash couldn't run like his son, though.
No.
Two and two.
This is where Gordon usually, I mean, they've had trouble putting him away with 2 strikes. A lot of hits in this series coming with the 2-strike count. See why, he just tries to put the ball in play. Not a guy that's trying to drive it anywhere other than just put it in play and let his legs get him to first base.
Two. Foul ball. Take a look at the Yankees defense presented by Geico. Stanton, Frazier, and Judge left to right in the outfield. For Frazier, his first major league game in center, 278 games in the minors he's played in center. Walker, Gregorius, Torres, and Bird third to first in the infield. Romine behind the plate. Severino's on the mound. The 2-2. And right away, Clint Frazier will be tested out. Puts it away, 1 down. Let's check out the weather today. Game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 80 degrees, humidity is 50%. 7 miles per hour is the wind. Some clouds giving way to sun.
Could not be better.
A little cool breeze coming out.
Just perfect day here.
Yankees' overall record when Severino starts a game this year, 13-2. The only pitcher better is Eduardo Rodriguez of the Red Sox. The Red Sox are 13-1 when he starts. This is some pitching matchup, and when you see it, you look forward to it. Maybe a lot of Yankee fans have not seen Paxton, but he can deal. He has a no-hitter, as David mentioned, already this year. So two very good starters going up against each other as the Yankees looking for the sweep and Seattle looking to salvage the final game. Swing and a miss. 2 away.
Well, you talk about that sweep, Michael, and a lot of the critics say this is the big test that the Seattle Mariners are going to either pass or fail, coming to the East Coast, playing the Yankees, then going on to Boston. And I don't see that, you kind of trick people when to get 20 games over 500, but this is a big test for the Seattle Mariners.
Here's Span. Popped up. Gregorius makes the play in a 1-2-3 inning for Severino and the Yankees. Mariners nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Yankees starting lineup brought to you by Lexus. Clint Frazier in center. He leads off. Aaron Hicks just a day off. Aaron Judge in right will bat second. The left fielder, Giancarlo Stanton, hits third. Cleaning up the shortstop, Didi Gregorius. Gleyber Torres will bat fifth and play second. The DH is Miguel Andujar. Greg Bird at first base bats seventh. Batting eighth and catching, Austin Romine. And Neil Walker at third base will bat ninth.
The big lefty, James Paxton, a true #1 starter on the year. You see those numbers are excellent. Only 26 walks against 115 strikeouts as well. And let's go ahead and tell you a little bit more in our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And Big Maple, Paulie, he's a Canuck. He's from outside of Vancouver.
Oh, is that right?
The big lefty, 6th in the AL in Ks, right behind Luis Severino. 4th best rate at swing and misses at all his pitches. And Sale Cole Tanaka, #3 on that list. He's 4. And I'll tell you what, the old #1, this guy's a throwback. Throws about 65% four-seam fastballs and a hook off of that. He's not afraid to challenge guys. And I'll tell you what, the Yanks like the heat, though, so something's got to give again here today. He's not afraid, and the Yankees like to swing at #1.
Clint Frazier digs in against Paxton. 1-0. It is the first day of summer, the longest day of the year.
I get to spend it with you, Buck. How you like that?
Yeah, the more time we can spend together, the better.
Coney, you didn't have much to say with it.
No, it's, John Sterling and I think alike. We both have white pants on today.
There you go.
For the first day of summer.
I don't know if I can get away with it this day and age. I don't know. It's kind of coming back in vogue, though.
Well, you're here Friday, right?
Yeah.
Are you here Friday?
Yes.
Well, let's all wear white pants for the Yankees.
White
Red
pants.
Sox.
White pants, no socks.
And some cool shoes and a pastel tie, right?
That's it.
2-1. Line to right field. Gamble brought the plate on a hop as Clint Frazier leads off with a single.
It's about 4 consecutive bat. Clint Frazier's hit the ball to right field, so he, his approach, staying out there, and he's got a very quick bat where he's able to pull the ball. But right here, see with that shoulder closed, he's able to catch that pitch away and drive it to right field. I'd love to see that, especially early in the lineup. Guys getting on base before the big hitters come up.
Pitch to Judge, low, 1-0. They play Judge to pull. D. Gordon shades up the middle. Healy holding on Frazier. And there's a strike, 1-1. All right, we're all set. I just got a text from Meredith Morakovich. She'll be wearing a white dress next Friday. So,
Wow.
And then we'll go on the yacht right afterward.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll be out on the field beforehand, and the Red Sox will look over and like, wow, what is wrong with these dudes? All dressed in white. Look like the good humor boy out there.
Swinging.
Send me a text and remind me about that, Mike. I might forget by then.
All right. Three and two.
Well, if Aaron Judge is at bat, then chances are it's going to be a 3-2 count.
No kidding.
High drive, right center, going back, Gamble, track, wall, see ya! A two-run home run for Judge. They keep hitting the ball out of the ballpark. 2-0 Yanks.
Well, I tell you what, when you steal a game like you did last night, and then you get a good start like today, Seattle has to just be shell-shocked, but they're pitching. All of a sudden, there's just no easy outs. Aaron Judge been using right field, puts the Yankees ahead. Fastball away, fastball gone. And a cut over the middle of the plate.
Here's last night's hero, Stanton. 1-0.
It's all approach, Paul, and you've hit the nail on the head with this, and Judge has done that all year. He tends to hit the fastball the other way by and large and pulls
high drive, center field, going back, Haniger on the track at the wall, leaps, and he made the play. He took a home run away from Stanton.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than hitting the ball about 410 feet and having somebody go over the wall to take it. The only reason he has an opportunity to catch is because you play Stanton so deep to start with. Good sound, much like he did in game one. Dead center field. Time perfect. Wow. Definitely a home run taken away.
That close to going back to back, both personally and in this game. And there's a strike to Gregorius.
You hit the ball 414 feet. You ought to get something more for it.
You would think.
Now the 414 that David's talking about is projected distance, because obviously the deepest part of the park is 408. So they're just assuming that if this ball does not go into the glove, it would travel 414.
Wow. You know, you look at those plays in slow motion, you think you have so much time, but you know, it happens so fast at an outfield. Very hard to time the ball over the wall like that.
Gregorius swings and misses. Well, Stanton can't believe it. Paxton wants to believe it. And the Yankees were a little premature celebration. Here's Gleyber Torres. Knocked the mask off of Zunino. Line drive, base hit for Torres.
Well, I just love to watch this guy hit. It's not always the home runs. That's what's kept catching everybody's attention. But just putting yourself in position every at bat to have good swings, can handle the ball away, can handle the ball in. Great balance. Loads on the backside, but stays behind the ball. Good extension.
Here's Andujar. He's the DH today. He has 36 extra base hits through 66 games. Only 2 Yankees have done better than that. Joe DiMaggio with 48, Bob Musial with 42. High fly ball, right field and deep. Gamble back, on the track, at the wall. See ya! A 2-run home run for Andujar. 4-0 Yankees. Another extra base hit, Paul.
It's amazing to me, Coney. If the Yankees stay with this approach at home, Coney, how do you pitch to this lineup? Because you know they're so strong you can't get them out inside, but they have the ability to cover the ball with the right approach and go the other way. And Andujar, I mean, I tell you what, between he and Torres, you knew they were going to hit, but you never knew you were going to get this kind of power and this production from him.
And nothing gets in your head more when you're on that mound in this stadium than getting porched. When you're like, are you kidding me? That ball got out of here? But that's what happens here, and that's what gets in your head. Cannot believe it. Been there, I know.
So obviously no hangover at all from the thrilling victory last night. Yankees come out bashing again with two-run home runs here in the first inning. Oh, 2 on Greg Bird.
You know, Paxton comes into this game 6-1 with a 3.5. It leaves the first inning with a 3.9 at this point. So things are going up in the ERA column.
Let's take a look at the defense of the Mariners, presented by Geico. Span, Haniger, and Gamble in the outfield. Seager, Romine, Gordon, and Healy, and Zunino behind the plate. And if it wasn't for Haniger, there'd be 3 home runs in this inning.
They had one taken away from them. They got the 4 spot on the board, and they lost a home run.
So you could be upset about being porched, but then you could be thankful that a guy hit one over 400 feet and was robbed. 1-2. Still 1-2.
I've said it numerous times, tough pitch for a lefty to handle. Is that ball inside from a left-handed pitcher, you kind of lose it because of the angle of the arm, and it kind of eat Bird up there.
2-2.
I think something has gotten in his head because he's starting to hump up and try to throw a little bit harder. The last 2 pitches, 96, 97.
Three and 2.
The more confident you are as a starting pitcher, you kind of figure you'll ease your way in through the first inning, and
yeah.
the best laid plans.
Fouled straight back here.
But you're right. Paxton came out throwing about 92, 93, and now all of a sudden you're hanging on. 96, 97.
Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. But the Yankees come out swinging after a Clint Frazier single. Judge goes yard, a 2-run home run, his 19th of the year. A little bit later on, the Baby Bombers take over. Torres first with a single and a 2-run home run. Today's conversation brought to you by Toyota. The Camry Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Should recently retired players like Ichiro be permitted to participate in the home run derby? Of course, give something the fans can enjoy. Ichiro is a fan favorite, and adding him to the home run derby will only add more fireworks. Follow Yes Network. Tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid. Keep the conversation going. 4-0 Yankees as Severino deals a strike to Cruz.
Guess if you're a hitter, you take it because you can't hit it, but most of the time that's called low outside corner.
Threw a pitch like that one day. The home plate umpire was Durwood Merrill.
Oh, the Hall of Fame pitch.
I asked him walking off the mound, where was that pitch? He said, I don't know. There's just something I didn't like about it.
Durwood would tell you the truth.
That was one of those pitches.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz with a leadoff walk.
What I didn't like about it. Durwood used to always give me the Hall of Fame pitch, Paulie. I'm like, you know what? That dude's not in the Hall of Fame, and I got no chance if you're going to call that one. So he was a good guy, though. He actually enjoyed what he was doing.
He was. He really was.
Here's Kyle Seager. 4-0 Yankees, top of the second. 0-1.
This is kind of a gut check for the Mariners. You know, here all of a sudden you're looking up and you're 4-0, and you're facing one of the game's best in Severino. Very easy to start looking to tomorrow and getting out of New York, but there's a lot of game. You really got to dig in and try to just get on the board to get back in this game.
When you face a team like the Mariners, who have the resilience that they have, and all those one-run games they win, losing Robinson Cano.
High drive, right field, Judge back, track, wall, see ya. It's raining home runs here at the stadium. A 2-run shot, 4-2 Yanks.
This is exactly what the Mariners needed, was a jump back fast. Scott Service knows it. Seager, big power hitter. I was talking about him the other day. Kind of reminds me of Torres. Not a ton in the minor leagues, but ever since he stepped foot in the major league ballparks, 20 to 30 plus every year. High changeup, ends up in the seats.
They don't quit.
Yeah.
They keep coming. And you're right. Sevy leaves a changeup up, and Seager hits it up and out.
There's a strike to Ryan Healy. Games like this really make all of us seem very bright. We talk about a great pitching matchup, and there's 6 runs. We're on the top of the second inning.
Well, the pitchers got good scorecard records, but so far they've given up a few long ones.
I wish I was a little fly on the wall in John Sterling and Susan Waldman's little booth down there. You know what they were going to say.
That's baseball, Susan. There's a base hit to left field. So a walk, a home run, and a single against Severino here in the second.
So far, Sevy kind of up in the strike zone and giving Seattle an opportunity to see it a little bit better. That belled high, a pitch that most major leaguers will catch up with, even with his good stuff.
Yeah, that was a great shot in slow-mo. Shows you how just a little margin for error from the outside corner to the middle.
Ben Gamel takes a strike. Last 26 games for Gamel, hitting .387. He's at .293 overall out of the Yankee farm system. There's a strike. 1-2.
One of the things that Aaron Boone has talked about being impressed with Severino about is his ability to self-correct on the fly, making adjustments on the fly when you get off kilter a bit.
Swing and a miss. Gamble down on strikes.
A pretty good self-correction right there, and a slider down and in for a finish pitch. But that's really the key for young pitchers to learn how to not panic. You're not always going to have your A game. When things start to go awry, can you make a quick adjustment? Can you find the pitch that works? Sometimes it changes inning to inning. How quickly can you find it?
Oh, and 1 now on Zunino.
Sometimes it helps, Paulie, too, and you know this as well as anybody. Sometimes it helps to get a little angry, you know. That's why I used to like it when you beat up the water coolers. Kind of
wake everybody up.
Yeah, wake up call.
0-2 on Zunino. Grounded foul. Scott Brocious can still make the plays over at third. And the 0-2. Still 0-2. Missed outside. Yankees have their biggest lead in the American League East that they've had this year because the Red Sox lost to the Twins again. So the Yankees have a 2-game lead over Boston. And Boston and Minnesota playing right now. No score, top of the second. After this game, Yankees head on the road. 3 games in St. Pete against the Rays. And there's the American League East standings. Then 3 games against the Phillies at Citizens Bank in Philadelphia. Thursday's an off day, and the Red Sox come to town. Grounded to third. Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1. On to first. It's a double play. 5-4-3 double play as Severino escaped further trouble. But a 2-run home run by Seager gets Seattle right back in it. 4-2 Yanks. The owner's box today. NBA draft is tonight. That's Kentucky coach John Calipari. Cowboys coach Jason Garrett. You see Brian Cashman there. Right behind them, Hall of Famer Tommy Lasorda. And there's the president of the New York Yankees, Randy Levine. So there's some important people in that box right now. And enjoying a beautiful game on the first day of summer. Tommy looking good. We go to the bottom of the second inning, and here is Austin Romine. 4-2. Yankees over the Mariners. Jack Curry said that Austin and Andrew Romine have combined to play in 790 Major League games. This is the first time they've both been in the starting lineup in the same game. Proud moment for the family as Austin grounds to second, 1 away. That's got to be a cool thing.
You know, I can only imagine. I mean, I grew up idolizing my brothers who were older than me, but to be on the same major league field, it's got to be a cool thing. And it happens, but I always think, you know, Thanksgiving dinner, what are you talking about? You know, you're talking baseball and what happened on my team and your team. Pretty cool stuff.
Neil Walker fouls it back to the screen.
So mom roots for one team and dad roots for the other. You just split it up, or
I guess you root for both of them to have good games, and gotta flip a coin on who should win, I guess.
The Romine brothers. So Austin's 29, Andrew's 32. 9th MLB season for Andrew, 7th for Austin. And Austin's really found his niche now. He's an outstanding defensive catcher and now has picked the bat up to where you could play him anytime you want and not feel that you're taking a big hit.
I remember reading an article about Doc Rivers, and you know, when he was coaching against his son. Is it Austin Rivers, right?
Yep.
And you would think this would be and he hated it. Said he did not like it because, you know, you're trying to shut down your own son. You're trying to root against it. It just was not a comfortable thing for him to do.
So what he did was give his son an incredibly big free agent contract.
Yeah.
And then he played for him.
That helps. It's good when you get that kind of pull, right?
Mm-hmm.
better be right.
Yeah, yeah.
Clint Frazier takes a strike. We'll see if Paxton has settled down. You wonder if doubt starts to creep in, David, because he's had such a good year, but his last time out against Boston didn't pitch well. 2 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, and he didn't get a decision in the game, but really got slapped around. That was not a Paxton performance. And then the 2 2-run home runs in the first inning. As a swing and a miss, the ball gets by Zunino, allowing Walker to move to second. And you just wonder, is he going up in class? I mean, the Yankees and the Red Sox are at a different level than most teams. Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros.
That's part of it, too. The other part is the workload that he's had and the fact that he did throw a no-hitter earlier in the year, and you wonder if he's, maybe, you know, it happens to pitchers. You go through a little lull in your stuff.
Two and two.
Kind of that point in the season, too. Paxton came in, he had already 91 2/3 innings and 15 starts. Guy's been a workhorse so far this year for the Mariners.
Grounded to third, backing up is Seager, makes the play across the diamond. And they get Frazier. The no-hitter was on May 8th. It was in Toronto, which meant a lot to Paxton. He's a Canadian native. He threw 99 pitches, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Seager made a great play to save the no-hitter there. And then the final out. David, you know that feeling to an even higher level because yours was a perfect game. Must be awesome.
It does. I mean, it's an incredible feeling, especially just to go through the 9th inning, just the adrenaline rush that you get when you're in that opportunity. And there is a residual effect afterwards, the next few starts. Somewhere down the line, you're going to feel it a little bit. And there's only one Johnny Vandermeer. You know? The rest of us kind of, yeah, the next start, not so good.
I remember Johnny Vandermeer was pitching those no-hitters when they just came up and opened some of these ballparks with lights.
Judge swings and misses, and a bounce-back inning for Paxton. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. We're going to go to the 3rd inning. It's 4-2 Yankees. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. 0-1 on Andrew Romine. What if they're saying anything to each other? Austin's telling Andrew, I know all your weak spots. And I've got a great pitcher on the mound who's going to get you out. One and two. Andrew can play many positions. A valuable utility guy on a team. Usually a better hitter than what he's done so far this year. Fly ball left field coming on Stanton, and he makes the play. So daddy, Kevin Romine, with the Red Sox, just punished the Green Monster before there were ads on the wall or seats.
Leading 1-0 in the second inning. Fastball hit deep to left field. Reigns is going
There's got to be an advantage, I would think, if you have some sort of athletic aptitude, Paul, for the kids to be around the ballpark, to just get a feel.
I agree 100%, and I think that's why Aaron Boone is such a natural fit as a manager. I mean, he grew up, he knows baseball. He knows the ins and outs of the past now, and I think it translates into being a good manager. And I think he stepped into an unbelievable opportunity, but he's made the most of it. And just growing up around this game, I mean, you learn things, just whether you want to or not.
I mean, you're privy to the ways things are done that a person that does not have a father that's on a team is not privy. They're just not. The clubhouse culture and chemistry and things like that, the do's and don'ts, I think that's valuable.
It's a great point, Michael. We've seen it time and time again. Actually, it took me about 2 years to stop calling Austin Kevin up here.
Dropped it on him a few times.
Grounded up the middle. Gregorius with the play. Fires to first. And they get the speedy Gordon. No, a base hit. Beat it out. He beat it out. Boy, Gordon is fast.
I mean,
That gives him a 9-game hitting streak now.
Sorry, Michael. Didi does everything he possibly can. Makes a quick transition from the dirt. One of the game's stronger arms as a shortstop. Throw right on the money. Just, you can outrun the ball when you're that fast, Coney. Out of the box. Strides get longer. Boom. Save.
A little Deion Sanders there at the end in the end zone.
How many points, Paul, would you have added if you were that fast?
Well, I tell you one thing, it does add a lot of base hits. When you think of what makes you a 280 to a 300 hitter, you know, it's a handful of hits. And when you throw in, you know, 20, 30 infield hits a year, man, you can really up that average.
David, you spoke about it, I think, earlier in the series. Ichiro, I mean, probably 50, 60 hits like that during the year.
Yeah, in his prime, Ichiro actually did average between 35 and 50 infield hits a year. And it's the old Whitey Herzog theory, the great manager for the Royals and the Cardinals. His speed never goes into a slump. It was more of an 80s style of game back then when Vince Coleman and Ozzie Smith and some of those guys were stealing a lot of bases.
Haniger fouls it away.
One thing I have noticed about Gordon and talked about it is he has not changed his approach. The game has changed its approach of home runs, launch angle, this and that. You got to know what you do well on the baseball field, and what you do well, be great at it. And Gordon has done that as far as making contact and not being tempted into trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark and just running the bases.
Two and one on Haniger, who struck out in the first inning.
One thing about baseball, you know, thinking about Whitey Herzog and the style of play that you mentioned, Paulie, is the game self-regulates itself. You know, styles come and go. If it doesn't work, it's out of there. You don't last in the big leagues if it doesn't work. And if it does work, there's a copycat mentality. Other teams will copy you. But the game itself, no matter how hard we try to mess it up,
yeah, and at times we do.
It kind of takes care of itself.
Grounded softly to third. Neil Walker charges and gets Haniger as Gordon moves to second. That's going to bring up Denard Span. Popped up to shallow left. Gregorius made the play to end the first inning. 50 pitches so far for Severino. Runner at second, 2 men out. 4-2 Yankees. And a strike. It was mentioned to Boone today that Severino has good numbers. He has good numbers with everybody, but good numbers with Romine behind the plate. And what would be the reason for that? And Boone goes, well, Severino's great.
That's where you start, on the mound. Romine's the perfect backup catcher. Every pitcher loves throwing to him. And now all of a sudden, he's providing some offense when he's in there.
One and two.
Certain outs in the course of a game that you just really need to get. This is one of them for Severino. You don't want to lose Span and have to face Cruz on deck with men on base.
I mean, if you look at the radar gun, nothing has changed as far as velocity, this or that. It's just he is not sharp to this point. Kind of missing up in the strike zone. Slider's been kind of a little erratic, and as great as he is, you're right, there are days where things just aren't perfect for you.
Kind of get into search mode and, you know, inning to inning, what's working. Gave up the home run on the changeup, and we haven't really seen too many changeups since that home run that Seager took deep. So now you kind of reduce back to a two-pitch pitcher now, and your slider's a little inconsistent. The fastball's still there, but still kind of trying to find it.
Still 3-2.
Another thing you see also when you're not really sharp is, you know, a lot of two-strike foul balls. You don't put guys away and then end up walking them longer counts. And then Michael, you spoke, I mean, 56 pitches already here in the third inning.
Yeah, 0-2 to 3-2.
Sporting some white pants, just like David Cohn today. Three-two. Strike three. Span down looking. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. We're going to the bottom of the third at the stadium. 4-2 Yankees. Bottom of the third inning. First day of summer. 4-2 Yankees lead, looking for the sweep over Seattle. Giancarlo Stanton will lead off. 1-0, robbed of a home run. Beautiful catch by Haniger in center field, pulling it back from over the wall. That one was a deep drive just to the right of dead center field. It was following Judge's 2-run home run to right center. Boone was talking today about how much he's admired the way Stanton has handled everything this year. He said there's things that have been thrown at him. He said, like playing left, playing right, being a DH. He said that stuff isn't easy when you're doing stuff one way your whole career. He said he's just handled everything and he works hard. He said we see how he works, everybody else doesn't see. He doesn't complain and just comes in, does his job. Swing and a miss. Stanton down on strikes. That's going to bring up Didi Gregorius, who struck out in the first inning. Swing and a miss.
Stuff looks pretty good now.
Yeah, he's starting to tune it up a little bit. He realizes, you know, you're not going to cruise through the first 5 and then find your groove here against the Yankees.
Paxton, we mentioned, you know, he throws a lot of four-seam fastballs in the mid to upper 90s. 64% fastball. That's the highest usage in the AL.
Slow roller. First base. 2 away.
It's pretty straight up. I mean, fastball, curveball are his bread and butter, and then the cutter off of that. Occasional changeup, not a lot. But here's the four-seamer. This is what I'm pitching off my fastball in a day and age where analytics and a lot of the front offices around the leagues tell you to throw less fastballs. He's going the other direction.
Driven out to right center field off the bat of Torres. That is going to be a base hit as Haniger dives. Can't make the play. Goes to the wall, and Torres breaks it down and will stop at second with a double.
As we said in the first at bat, he can handle the ball away, he can handle the ball in, and he's using all parts of the field. Very tough out, very tough guy to pitch to. Look, same position as the ball he pulled. Recognizes this ball, stays inside it, just hammers it the other way. I mean, by his ability to kind of stay in that neutral position until the ball enters the hitting area, you know, it allows him to adjust, where the pitchers, most of the time you see guys trying to adjust to what the pitcher does, and he sees the ball and adjusts mid-flight, and it's very hard to explain, but boy, when you can get in that position as a hitter, you feel like you can cover the whole plate.
On a curveball too. So off-speed pitch still splits the gap the other way, perfectly splitting that gap.
And Duhar with a 2-run home run on the first, his 10th home run of the year, and that gives him 10. Gleyber Torres has 14. They become the 4th set of Yankee rookies to hit 10 or more home runs in their first season. 1951, Gil McDougall had 14. Mickey Mantle had 13. 1925, Lou Gehrig had 20. Ben Pascal had 12. In 1920, Bob Musial had 10. Aaron Ward had 10. And this is according to Elias, as Andujar walks. Andujar is the 5th Yankees rookie to hit 10 home runs before the All-Star break in the organization's history. Judge had 30 in 2017. Torres has 14. DiMaggio had 11 in 1936. Nick Johnson 11 in 2002. So now Andujar joins that group. First and second, 2 outs. Here's Greg Bird. One 1-0. One and one.
Delayed call there. Ball just off the outside corner. As a hitter, you don't hear it immediately, and it registers how good. Ball's away, and then strike.
Bird coming into this game has only really had 11 at-bats since he's been back against left-handed pitching. Just 1 hit so far.
3-1. Romine is on deck.
Excuse me, Michael. I think that's kind of why you're seeing down in AAA Brandon Drury playing some first base now, trying to find spots to possibly, on a day like today against a tough lefty.
And Bird walks, and all with 2 outs. The Yankees have now loaded the bases for Austin Romine. Romine, with runners in scoring position this year, is 9 for 21. That's .429. And in limited playing time, he has 20 runs batted in. Zunino goes out and talks with Paxton, who's at 62 pitches here, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Paxton is 29 years old, his 6th big league season. He was actually a first-round draft pick in 2009 by the Blue Jays, but he chose to stay at the University of Kentucky for his senior season, then a 4th-round pick by Seattle in 2010. That's odd. Kid from Canada gets picked in the 1st round and turns him down.
That sounds like a parent's decision, Michael. Believe me, when you're a kid, where do I sign? Let's go. You know, it's funny, on paper we see 2 of the better pitchers in the American League, and at this point in the 3rd inning, pitch count wise, this game's going to come down to the bullpen. No doubt about it.
You know who Paxton's favorite pitcher growing up was? Andy Pettitte.
Oh, was that right? I was trying to think of some of the Canadians that he might.
He's lost the plate 2-1.
You know, Andy Pettitte pitched so long and was so good, especially in postseason, that he's got a whole generation of kids, especially lefties, that he was their guy.
Romine, good pitch to hit there, good swing, and he's so good again with staying up the middle and to the right center field. Another guy that has not changed. I think that's why he's having so much success this year so far offensively.
Two-two. 3-2. Everybody will go now. Bases loaded. Start the merry-go-round. 3-2, 2 outs.
The strike zone's been a little bit on the tight side, possibly.
Runners go. Swing and a miss as Romine chased out of the zone. Would have been ball 4. No runs a hit, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. We're going to the 4th. Sabathia will host a celebrity softball game here at Yankee Stadium on June 28th at 6:30 p.m. Yankee legends Alex Rodriguez, Mariano Rivera, and Jorge Posada will reunite on the field and take on other athletes and celebrities in this friendly rivalry. Tickets will start at $20. To purchase, visit pitch.org. There's 2 C's in pitch, CC, you get it? Or Ticketmaster.com. All proceeds from the event will support youth and community programs of the Pitch-In Foundation and the New York Yankees Foundation. Audi scoreboard, top of the 4th inning, 4-2 Yankees as they leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the 3rd. Cruz wraps one into left center field. It's a base hit. And Clint Frazier cuts it off in the gap, steadies himself, and fires into Didi, but still a double for Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz, another one of those guys that just hits the ball a little bit harder than the average. Ball just hammered out into left center field, and it beats Frazier. It gets him at an angle where, you know, the ball beats him, and now you're off balance just trying to stop it from getting to the wall. You know, in between innings, Michael, you know, they put up a highlight reel of Scott Brocious, and it just, you know, almost got goosebumps because, you know, you see your stuff up all the time, Coney, and my stuff, but, you know, to bring Scotty Brocious back and went to the dugout during the World Series. Don Zimmer was there. I mean, those are the things you don't see every day. It just good things to see. The Yankees do the things the right way. Scotty Brocious obviously was a huge part of a couple of those World Series.
Such a nice guy, too.
Yeah.
It's good to see him back in the game.
And he got a nice hand from the crowd. 11 big league seasons with the A's and the Yankees. All-Star in '98, Gold Glove '99, won 3 titles with the Yanks. And he's been a coach in the Seattle organization since 2016. This is his first season as their third base coach. Fly ball, left field. Stanton makes the play to retire Seager. On that dream 1998 season, there was a big home run against Trevor Hoffman.
I was on second base then, and I was as happy as anyone. I had a throwing error earlier in the game. Boy, I felt good when Scotty hit that ball dead center field.
That's the one you threw in a dugout, wasn't it?
Yeah, but were you pitching, Coney? Sorry about that. Picked up the wrong cutoff, man.
It's one of Brian Cashman's first trades, Scott Brocious. One of the best.
There's a strike on Healy. Remember, Joe Torre used to tell the story that Scott Brocious rounding first there in San Diego reminded him of the MGM lion roaring out of the screen before a movie. Oof. That got him as Healy gets hit by a pitch. Ryan, you spoke to Brocious the other day, right?
Yes, and we were talking about that '98 team, of course, and he said he just always goes back to the dog pile. When he thinks about that year and that season, that is the memory that he always goes back to. And I asked him, all right, do you believe that is the greatest team of all time? And he didn't go as far as saying, yes, I do, but he said, I'll put it this way, I have not seen a better team before or since. Of course, David and Paul may have some thoughts on that.
Well, it's hard to gauge what team is better or whatever, but you know, it's definitely the best team that we were ever associated with, all three of us.
Here's Ben Gamel. 1-0. Yankees were not certain that this actually hit him.
I'm not sure either after looking at the replay.
Good deke. Just take it and run.
Until they call you back, and they didn't call you back. And you can see Savvy just missing, you know, with fastballs and sliders. He'll have a couple of hitters where he looks like he's found it again and then back. You know, 2-0 right here. Ball's just off the plate.
Ground ball to second. There's one. There's two as they double up Gamel. Got just what he needed. 4-6-3. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. 3-1. Big double play for Severino as he gets out of a jam. Now Neil Walker leads off the bottom of the fourth. Audi scoreboard, 4-2 Yanks. Grounded up the middle. Romine fields and gets Walker. One away. Now finishing up on the stuff we were talking about with Brocious, I just got a text from Buster Only of ESPN, and he said that he had Trevor Hoffman on his podcast last week and asked him about his best and worst moments of his career, and Hoffman said the worst was the Brosius home run. Worst moment of his career. And Buster also spoke with Brosius, and Brosius had no idea that he reacted the way he did until he was shown a video of it.
Yeah.
He was horrified that he actually did that, because that's just not him.
You know, it's amazing because I just saw that replay and immediately it went through my head what happened. And he had hit a ball earlier in the game to dead center field, and I thought he got it. And in San Diego back then, it would get cool at night and the ball would not travel. So again, I was on second base then, and he hit it, and I was like, no, not another one to center field. But that one carried out. And like I said, I was as happy as anybody because I had made a throwing error earlier in the game.
A base hit for Clint Frazier. Really goes the other way nicely. Picks up a one-out single.
Yeah, that's got to be enough. I mean, as a hitter, every once in a while, all right, I'm hitting the ball well. Then you get greedy. Okay, I need to add a home run to stay here, this or that. And then you take away what you're doing good. And see, he's letting that ball travel all the way almost to home plate and then staying inside it. And what I mean by inside is, see, those hands are staying in there instead of out and around the ball. And it makes such a difference. And it makes a very hard hitter to get out if you're David Cone out there trying to get in on him.
Short and quick.
Well, when they acquired him in the trade for Andrew Miller, that was the big thing that Brian Cashman said, legendary bat speed. Very quick hands, quick bat.
He showed some wheels last night, running for a double center field today, showing that, you know, he's a little versatility. Again, another guy you were talking about, Drury. You know, why is he in AAA? Probably believes he shouldn't be, and he probably shouldn't be. And Clint Frazier kind of in that same boat. Having a good solid year, has tasted the major leagues. It's just an organization right now that's very hard to break into.
2-1 on Judge. Judge with the 2-run home run in the first, his 19th home run of the year, and RBI's number 49 and 50. It's so glaring, Paul, that Judge and Stanton are the big home run hitters on the team, and Judge's stance is wide open, and Stanton's is completely closed. So why do you think Judge is open? What's he avoiding?
Well, he has a much more of an uppercut swing, a longer swing when things are going, but it gives him the ability to really launch the ball, and you'll see much more elevation in his home runs than Stanton's for the most part. And it just, he has the ability to start open and stay there, where, you know, Stanton, I think by closing up sometimes it keeps you in there just a little bit longer.
Right field, Gamble makes the play, and that's going to bring up Giancarlo Stanton. So let's take a look at the G. Peter scouting report on him.
Well, Michael, you called it last night. He did have a big moment, a late walk-off on an 0-2 pitch. It ended up 453 feet away, and he does smash southpaws. Tough lefty today, but Stanton has a AL leading 9 home runs. He's hitting 347 against lefties. And this is amazing to me. 18 and 18. All right, last year MVP. Through the first 70 games, 18 home runs. Well, 70 games now. He hit his 18th last night. So it's not really far from where he, you know, there's been so much written about him. I mean, he's 5th in the AL in home runs with 18. Pretty in depth, wasn't it, Mike?
That was unbelievable.
Well, he's been the guy that's done the damage on the road, and Judge is the guy that does the damage at home. So they really ham and egged it so far. If they get it going the same time together, watch out.
Heads up.
That home run he hit last night got about 60 feet off the ground and traveled 453 feet in 4.6 seconds. It's about 100 feet per second. It was just a absolute laser that he hit.
It was funny, Michael, because you were saying you don't know that he got it immediately. I mean, I jumped up with my arms up because I'm thinking, oh, that's it. You know, game winners are exciting. And I was thinking, did Michael not pick up where that one went? Because that was a laser.
It was a laser, and it was just, it happened so quickly. And, you know, the outfielders were going back. Usually on a ball like that, they just turn and look. But I don't know, as Dave would say, if it was just eyewash, did not make the pitcher look bad.
Everything happened so fast. It was a good recovery. That was, if I was a play-by-play guy, I would have missed that one. I said, oh, gone.
Yeah, you guys saw it.
I mean, that's 60 feet off the ground and 4.6 seconds of hang time. So, yeah, about 100 feet a second.
Swing and a miss. Stanton down on strikes. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We'll go to the 5th inning here at the stadium. It's 4-2. And Jack and Ryan later on. I wonder, are the Twins starting to find it after an awful start? GMC scoreboard 4-2. Yankees over the Mariners, and they're taking 2 from a very good Red Sox team. And as poorly as they've played, the Central is very much up for grabs. Coming into today, the Twins are in 3rd place, but they're just 5.5 games out, and they're 4 games under 500.
A lot of people expected Cleveland, obviously, to have a much better year. They're 7 games above right now. You got to believe that Minnesota will get ahead of Detroit in that division and give Cleveland a little scare here.
Fly ball right field, deep, going back. Judge can't make the play. Karam's out into right field. Zunino is at second. He'll stop right there with a leadoff double.
Boy, sometimes as a right fielder, you run so far that you're just kind of in nowheresville because you kind of lose sight of where the wall is and where you are in the ballpark. And you see Aaron Judge goes a long way for that. And the last thing you want to do is stick that wrist out and bang into the wall. You see him starting to run sideways against the wall, which can help. It's just too far to go.
Kept slicing away, drifting, and good shot there on our Yes-Mo, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Tri-State Dealer.
Andrew Romine takes high. (3-0). This entire game has been more of a grind than usual for Severino. 5 hits, 2 runs, top of the 5th, leading 4-2.
And it's been his control. He's been off. He really didn't have a pitch that you know, he can go to for the automatic strike, and it has nothing to do with his velocity, nothing to do with his slider. It's just one of those days where his control is not pinpoint.
Yeah, that ratio tells a story. 46-30 strikes to balls.
3-2.
Coney, to your point earlier, since he gave up that home run, he is a 2-pitch pitcher. It's been fastball, slider.
One of the hardest things, even Severino, who's fairly established at this point, 3rd in the Cy Young voting last year and in the race again, is, well, you give up on that pitch. You give up a home run. Really one of the first ones he threw today. Seager lost it. Seager rather lost it. And Bob Seager was a
silver bullet man.
Yeah, he was Seager too.
Swing and a miss, so he comes back from down 3-0 to strike out Romine. That was 98 miles an hour. Fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios by Verizon.
9-hole hitter, 3-2 count, came all the way back from 3-0, and it is right down the middle and right on by. And that's what he had to do right there. But it's hard to keep working that pitch back in there. You know, when you give up a home run on your third pitch, as Severino did, then you know that's it. It's going in my hip pocket.
There it was right there. He tried to get back to it.
Mookie Betts has just hit a home run, and the Red Sox lead 2-0 over the Twins, top of the 5th. Two and two on D. Gordon.
Thanks for that little out-of-town scoreboard there, Michael.
You got it.
Keep us up to date.
It's a real-time information kind of booth we have here. We'll let you know.
Ground ball, second base. Torres there. And Zunino will move to third. Now, David, today they're calling it National Selfie Day, so we took one in the booth. But then you just look, and Paul knows literally where his bread is buttered. He goes in. He goes into the lunchroom here and takes a picture with all the people that help him with his food.
Oh, they're the best, too. Banana pancakes today. I mean, they just do everything.
You're unbelievable.
You know what?
Priorities, right?
You can't trade this place in for anything, believe me. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a ball game, everything. Everything you would need right here.
1-0 on Mitch Haniger with a runner on third and 2 outs. Yankees up by 2, 4-2.
Can you text somebody in this stadium right now and bring me like a burger or a nice little steak right now?
I'm sure there's a lot of people would do that for you, Coney. You want to shake
for
with
you?
It? You want to shake for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Popped up. Gleyber Torres right there, and that'll do it. No runs a hit. Leadoff double is wasted. 1 man left. We're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. The World Cup continues tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern on FS1 as Brazil takes on Costa Rica. Then on Fox, Nigeria battles Iceland at 10 a.m. followed by Serbia versus Switzerland at 1 p.m. The FIFA World Cup Friday on Fox and FS1. Or stream it all live on the Fox Sports app. Gregorius fouls it off, 0-1. GMC scoreboard, 4-2 Yankees lead. Yankees got their runs in the first inning. 2-run home run by Judge, 2-run home run by Andujar. Base hit right field off the bat of Gregorius. You know, earlier this year, Paxton showed that he does not get flustered easily. So the 2 home runs in the first inning not going to fluster him. It was April 5th in Minnesota, and a bald eagle landed on his shoulder right after the national anthem.
Are you kidding me?
No, take a look at this. It's amazing.
You couldn't even make this up.
And the bald eagle was supposed to go to home plate, and just
Wow. I mean, those things got those talons. Look at that.
kept his cool. His quote was, "It was coming right for me," and I was like, all right, the guy's over there, and I'm not the Eagle guy. I guess the Eagle was just confused. I was just standing there trying not to panic. I was just like, all right, we'll see what happens here. Mel Stoudemire Jr. comes out and wants to talk with Paxton.
A great article in the paper about Mel and how much he enjoys watching his son and what has happened here in Seattle. One of the nicer men you'll ever meet in your life, huh, Coney?
The best. And all the best to Mel and Gene Stoudemire. And of course, Mel Jr. and Todd. We were talking about the Romine family, the Stoudemire family. What a great baseball family as well.
Mel Jr. was quoted before the first game saying, you know, his dad has been suffering. You know, he's been battling cancer for a long time since he was a pitching coach for the Yankees. And he said the man's will to live is incredible, and he just enjoys watching the Mariners and the job his son is doing. So, as David said, we all echo from here at Yes our best wishes to Mel and Gene. Just great people. One of the great moments when the Yankees honored him on the field, and he was totally blown away by it. Didn't expect it. It was supposed to be Willie Randolph's day, and Willie Randolph graciously told Debbie, Tom, and Yes, let's do this. They both wore number 30, and they both have plaques out in Monument Park.
I think in all those years, Paulie, I never saw Mel in a bad mood.
No.
He was one of those upbeat guys
No.
that was great to be around.
Two count on Gleyber Torres. Was he a pitching coach that worked more with the mind than mechanics?
Definitely. I mean, Mel was an expert at sinker ball grips. He had some unbelievable variations on how to make the ball sink. But other than that, it was all about building your psyche up and confidence.
Gleyber Torres down swinging. First time he's retired today.
And you look back and you talk about the teams and what a great fit they were. You know, you have to talk about what was surrounding the teams too. And you look at Joe Torre and you look at Mel Stoudemire and Don Zimmer. There's not a better fit of coaches around a team like that. So, you know, and then you throw the Cacuzas in there, and then you throw Charlie Wants, and just everybody that was a part of that. It's kind of a perfect fit, right?
You come to the realization that we're all in the same boat together. Everybody, really. We're all living the same life here. Guys in the truck, the production crew, camera guys. Maybe the zeros on the paycheck are a little different, but we're all in the same boat together. Living the same life. Beat writers. Concession stands.
Well, now you're getting close to me. Let's go. Keep going.
We all hate extra innings.
There was nothing more exciting than Stanton going deep yesterday. I told John Filippelli was up here. I said, you know what? That's more exciting than an extra inning walk-off. Just to do it in the bottom of the ninth.
And Duhar swings and misses. We might be seeing the last inning for Paxton. He's at 102 pitches right now. And he'll face Greg Bird.
Whatever Mel Stoudemire Jr. told him has worked so far. A couple strikeouts in a row since the visit. And Michael, you are right. This is probably his last hitter.
Would a pitching coach ever go out there and say, hey, you know what, you got about 10 left. You know, get through this inning, let it all go right now?
Rarely. I think you kind of just would know. You see somebody warming up behind you. You know what your pitch count is. But yeah, you would get maybe more of a in between the lines kind of a message.
Grounded foul.
Finish up strong.
Oh, that Bird's eyeballing Paxton right now.
It's a cousin to that bald eagle.
Check swing, did he go? No, he did not, said James Hoy. Swing and a miss. Bird down on strike. So Torres, Andujar, and Bird strike out. We talked about Mel Stoudemire. What a great moment here on the field at Yankee Stadium. Surprised with a plaque that will be in Monument Park forever. Injury report brought to you by Montefiore Doing More. A.J. Cole placed on the 10-day DL with a neck strain. Yankees reinstated Luis Sessa from the 10-day DL. Been bothered by an oblique. Cole, who pitched well in the first game of the series, was throwing on the side, just felt something in his neck, and Aaron Boone said probably a 4-day injury, but we wanted to have the extra arm. The 10-day DL makes a big difference.
You know what? It does. It allows organizations to maneuver a lot better. You know, 10 and 15 days is a big difference, and you know, that's, I like it. I think that, you know, you can bring players in and out quicker, and it gives the team an opportunity to make a decision quicker.
Boone also said that Gardner really bounced back well from a heavy workload yesterday on the side. Thought he was going to be sore today. Came in, wasn't sore at all. But they gave him another day off against the lefty Paxton. Long run for Walker. Can't get there. And he said there's no concern whatsoever about playing him on the artificial turf at Tropicana Field tomorrow. So we will see Gardner back tomorrow, and he's still available as a pinch hitter today. Three, 4, and 5 in Seattle's order: Span, Cruz, and Seager. Swing and a miss. Span down on strikes. 5th strikeout for Severino. Yankees scored their 4 in the first. Mariners their 2 in the second. And all the runs in this game via the home run. Kyle Seager, a 2-run home run in the second. For the Yankees, in the first inning, Aaron Judge, a 2-run home run. And then later in the inning, Miguel Andujar, a 2-run home run. Cruz takes low. Cruz has walked and scored and then doubled the left center.
It's probably the biggest strikeout Severino's had all day, leading off the 6th here with this pitch count. To get Span leading off here, and you can see that the Yankees are going to get their bullpen going here. Any trouble at all, and it's going to be David Robertson right now. Last thing you want when your pitch counts is this high, to get that leadoff hitter on in the 6th. And now in the driver's seat here after striking out Span, got a 1-2 count on Nelson Cruz.
You know, we always talk about how baseball is a lot different than other sports because each game is so clearly interconnected where one can impact the next. And the Yankee bullpen today is in great shape, and one of the reasons why is because of what Jonathan Holder did yesterday. That allows you to maybe win this game because of what he did yesterday. There's a base hit to left center field for Cruz. Frazier will get it in. Another single.
Another off-speed pitch to Cruz, and again, just Sevy, it's been a little bit of a struggle. And when you can say that and you still have only given up 2 runs, you're saying what type of pitcher he is. I'm sure Aaron Boone would love to see him finish this 6th inning and then get to his bullpen. But only 1 out here.
And a strike.
You see that 2-run home run in the second was a high changeup. It's kind of one pitch that you would not think you would see in this at bat. All fastballs and sliders. tough one to hit right there, Coney. 99 at the knees away.
That's what you love about Severino, the way he retains his velocity and can reach back. And he has to know he's coming to the end of the run here. This is a very important inning. You pitch this like this is the 9th inning. Very aggressive, up 0-2 here.
He's heavy, really attacking right now, and Seager kind of walking around trying to slow this at bat down. And you know, really good pitchers get into rhythms and they just want to continue to attack you, and as a hitter you got to try to slow it down.
That's right. They shouldn't call it a pitch clock. It's a hitter's clock. Get in the box.
There's a base hit to right field off the bat of Seager. Cruz stops at second. Seager's now 2 for 3.
He stayed away from the changeup, but he went to the slider, and it was not his best. Aaron Boone probably has some question marks in his head right here. Again, you want to try to bury this down on the back foot, and it just kind of hangs out over the plate.
You see Romine had to reach back over the middle, wanting it in. And that's been the story all day. You're right, Paulie. It's been kind of tough for him to get it where he needs to, his slider. And confirmation, yes, Robertson is ready.
Well, he's pitched Gamble, who's on deck, very well today. And if you can get through Healy, I think he'll allow him to face Gamble. Other than that, base hit here. You're going to go to bed.
Oh, and 2.
It's been unusual today also, Coney, that he's been able to get 0-2, 1-2 on some hitters and not put them away. Usually with his kind of stuff, he puts a lot of hitters away quick.
He's let some of them get off the hook as well and run his pitch count up to the point where number 104 is about to be delivered, with 1 out here in the 6th.
Popped up. Neil Walker coming in, makes the play for the 2nd out. Well, Saturday, the Yankees are exclusively on FS1 as they take on the Tampa Bay Rays at Tropicana Field. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. on FS1, where you can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Tomorrow is on Yes, Saturday is on FS1, and Sunday back on Yes. Let me make a correction. Tomorrow is Picks 11 for the game. Pre-game is on Yes. There's Ben Gamble. Fouled away. One and one on Gamble. Gamble has struck out and hit into a 4.63 double play.
100 miles an hour on that last fastball.
That one is looped into center field. It's a base hit. Cruz will round third. He'll come home. An RBI single for Gamble. Stopping at second is Seager. And now the Yankee lead is 1. They lead 4-3.
Again, it wasn't pretty, but a jam shot comes through, and Severino's going to head for the dugout. But he does have the lead at this point. See if the bullpen can take care of business.
So a rare short outing for Severino, going just 5 2/3. So the bullpen is going to have to get its share of outs. So Severino departs. He leaves runners on first and second with 2 outs, and the Yankees lead by 1. Friday, July 27th, for one of the hottest collectibles of the season. It's CC Sabathia Bobblehead Night, the third in the 2018 collectible series presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests that are in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Ready for that night, CC? Oh, yeah. Fired up. Got him in mid-scream. David Robertson takes over for Severino, and he'll face Zunino with runners on first and second. Tying runs at second. Yankees lead 4-3. 0-1.
A big point in this game right here. Obviously, Robinson trying to get this out to keep Severino in line to try to pick up his 11th win.
Robertson has not pitched since Monday when he threw 15 pitches. Betances and Green have also had the last 2 days off. Chapman has pitched one of the last 2 days. He pitched last night. He threw 10 pitches. One and two.
That's probably the one fastball that Zunino's going to see in this count. Robertson has a couple different breaking balls now that he can go to.
Popped him up. Judge is there. Makes the play, and that'll do it. For Seattle, 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees 4-3. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Delta. More destinations from New York City than any other airline. Good things come to those who go. Delta, keep climbing. And by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Robertson gets the final out and leaves 2 runners stranded. Now we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees are up 4-3. And a new pitcher is Chasen Bradford, his 26th game. And you see his numbers, 4-0, 3.21. And he'll face Romine. Popped up behind the plate. Zunino makes the play right near the on-deck circle, 1 away. Seattle's trying to pull off its version of what the Yankees did last night. Yankees led 4-0 in this game, and Seattle led 5-0 last night, and the Yankees chipped away, and that's what the Mariners are doing. So the Yankees had a 4-0 lead after 1. Seattle scored 2 in the 2nd, now 1 in the 6th, and it's a 1-run game, 4-3.
Well, I said earlier, in matchup, you would assume that these starters would just mow through it, but it's going to come down to the bullpen, which usually favors the Yankees. The Yankees need to tack on a run or 2 here in the last 3 innings, but I don't think Aaron Boone is ever scared going into a game that's going to be decided by the bullpen.
Did he check? Yes, he did. 1-1 on Neil Walker. Walker's walked and grounded to short. 4-7-0 for the Yankees. 3-8-0 for Seattle. One and two. Along with Paul O'Neill, David Cohn, and Ryan Rucco, I'm Michael Kay. We thank you for spending part of your Thursday afternoon with us here on Yes. Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-3 Yankees. 2-2 on Walker. Top of the 7th inning in Minnesota. Boston leads the Twins 2-0. But in the Twins' 2 victories over the Red Sox, they've come back late. So that one's certainly not over.
He's had so many games like this, Paulie, in 98, and this team, current teams being compared to the 98 team, or at least those comparisons are starting to creep in. Well, we jump out and score 4 runs in the first, but you don't feel comfortable because you haven't tacked on.
A lot of zeros in between.
Never liked those hang-on games.
Yeah.
Ryan Rucco has an update on Masahiro Tanaka. Ryan?
Yeah, Michael, some good news on that front. According to Aaron Boone, Tanaka will go with the team to Tampa today and is scheduled to throw a bullpen on Sunday. That's a probable happening for Tanaka. Aaron Boone saying he's doing really well, and the good news is he's feeling really good in both of those hamstrings. So progress for Masahiro Tanaka.
Thank you, Ryan. Here's Clint Frazier. And I figured there was progress because if you watch the celebration at home plate yesterday, right on the fringes of it, Masahiro Tanaka was jumping up and down. So you don't jump up and down if your hamstrings are hurting.
Sore hammies. I never got back to. I talked to Lee Mazzilli yesterday. He took like 10 swings. Said he was really sore. Coney was sore. As you see the Tanaka,
yeah.
That's right. I was a little sore from swinging the bat. I didn't hear after your catch. You all right? Everything's okay?
I felt great.
Really?
Yeah, I could have gone the next day. Yeah.
You're one of those closers. You'd go 2 or 3 days in a row.
Easily.
Nice.
High fly ball, left field. Span in left center makes the play, and the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Bradford. We're going to the 7th at the stadium, first day of summer, 4-3 Yankees. CFC takes on Toronto FC in a battle against the reigning MLS Cup champions. Coverage kicks off at 5, presented by Etihad Airways, right here on Yes and streaming on Fox Sports Go. NYFC looking to remain undefeated at Yankee Stadium this season, currently in 2nd place in the Eastern Conference. So Robertson comes back out for the 7th inning, and he'll face Andrew Romine. It'll be 9-1-2. Nobody up in the Yankee bullpen. And a strike. Cadillac scoreboard, 4-3 Yankees lead.
Michael mentioned, the Yankees bullpen is well rested, well positioned. David Robertson, just 1 earned run over his last 11 games. Been kind of rolling along.
Three and 2 on Romine, who's 0 for 2 today. Fly ball to left and a strikeout. They play him to pull. Gregorius almost right behind second base. The Yankees have been playing without many off days with the rainouts, and Monday an off day was taken away because of the suspended game and the rainout in DC. But they have an off day a week from today. When they come back from Philadelphia, they play a 3-game set against the Phils Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then Thursday is an off day before the 3-game set against Boston. Fly ball right field coming on as Judge. It's going to dunk in front of him for a base hit. Well, this is what it looks like. The final game against Seattle right now, then Pix 11 tomorrow, FS1 on Saturday. That's a 4:10 start, then a 1:10 start on Sunday against the Yes. And the Yankees will face the Phillies Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at Citizens Bank Park. And then the Red Sox.
I think I'm going to join you down in Philly, Michael.
That's what I'm hearing.
I haven't been to Philly since the days of the old vet.
Oh, I've never seen the new ballpark either. You two working alone? You got somebody else with you?
You want to come?
Slow roller. Foul ball. Didn't you do any pre and post game for the World Series in 2009?
I did the home one.
Oh, you didn't do the road.
Didn't go on the road. Yeah.
We're going to check to see if that was foul. Aaron Boone saying, well, what are you doing? That looked like a fair ball. And Gordon should be out.
Let's see if the ball hits his foot or anything, part of his body while he's in the box. Can't tell from that angle. Let's see this one. That's a fair ball, right?
I would think so. I mean, he didn't think it hit him. That's why he ran. If anything, did it brush his knee?
Now, can you overrule this, because Romine did make the play and throw to first, right? Wow.
The 0-1. Bunt it. Romine. Same result, except he gets a sacrifice out of it as Romine Andrew moves to second.
A little harder play. You see Gordon over there chirping in the dugout. I think he was looking at CC. With some funky spin on that bunt right there. It's like a pool ball. You get your golf ball to do that. You're hitting it pretty solid, Coney.
Check up on the green, and one step from beating that out. That's 2 plays today. We've got a hit batter that we don't think was a hit batter.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find proof, and fair ball.
We got a few more angles on Yes than the umpires see live. He does resemble his father a little bit, doesn't he, with the hat and helmet on? Different kind of build, though, huh? Remember how thick and strong the Flash was?
Yeah, but you're right. They do have facially, they're very similar.
0-2 on Haniger. Tying runs at second base for Seattle. 1 man out, top of the 7th inning.
All of a sudden, Seattle seems to be putting pressure offensively on the Yankees every inning. One of those games, Coney, we were talking between the innings. It seems like you're just trying to hang on instead of just, continue to put runs up. See Romine again, so good at blocking balls. Gets that body out in front, moves closer to the ball, doesn't give it a chance to come up.
Strike 3. Haniger down looking.
Tough pitch to throw, tough pitch to hit. That front door slider that comes back in. Hits a glove as a strike. As a hitter, you pick it up out in front of the plate and you just don't see it as a strike, and it just moves a little at the end. Good job by Romine.
It's one of the first ones we've seen Marvin Harrison call all day that's been around and off the plate. Fortunate for Robertson and the Yankees there, and you're right, Romine did a good job of receiving.
And there's a strike to Span.
Home plate umpire Marvin Hudson had kind of a reputation as being a little more of a pitcher's umpire, calling more strikes. That was the first one all day that we saw called the pitcher's way.
0-2.
You see Robertson, he uses that cut fastball. He'll use a breaking ball. Every once in a while, he'll show you the fastball. But boy, just one of those guys that has evolved, that really knows how to pitch, knows what he needs to throw at a certain situation.
The 0-2. Grounded to second. Torres to Bird. And that will do it in the 7th. No runs are hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play. Get up and stretch. Yankees 4, Seattle 3. But we're going to stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined by his family. United States Army Sergeant First Class, 98-year-old William Brazel from Glen Rock, New Jersey, who served in World War II. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Bob and Jack. Ryan will join you later on the postgame. Time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 4-7-0 leading 3-9-0. Paxton lasted 5. Severino 2 more outs than Paxton. 2-run home run by Seager. Aaron Judge and Miguel Andujar. The Yankees scoring each with a 2-run home run in the first. 1-0 on Judge. Bradford pitched a 1-2-3-6. Now faces Judge, Stanton, and Gregorius. Announced crowd of 46,658. The 11th sellout of the year here in the Bronx. Cadillac scoreboard 4-3 Yankees lead. Tansis getting ready. He'll pitch the 8th. Unless there's a offensive outburst in the bottom of the 7th. And Judge walks on 4 pitches. Now a quick word from Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
Memorial Sloan Kettering, changing how the world treats cancer for over 130 years.
So Bradford now will face Stanton. Stanton robbed of a home run in the first inning. Leaping grab at the wall in center by Haniger. And he struck out in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th. Well, Monday, after Stanton got the 4 hits in the game against the Nationals, Ryan Ruocco and Jack Curry on the postgame show showed that they felt some video that proved that Stanton had opened up his stance a little bit, and Stanton steadfastly said, I have not changed a thing, and defied the video evidence. And then Aaron Boone used some of his ESPN background and said there are different angles for different shots that might show different things. He said he has not changed a thing. As closed as he ever was.
Well, whether he did or he didn't, I mean, that's for you to say. But the results lately have been good. Had a home run taken away from him earlier in the game. Big home run yesterday and 4 hits tonight. Last night in Washington. So some good things recently for Stanton.
Well, in his last 17 games coming into this one, hit .303, 7 homers, 13 ribbies. That one is lined to left field. It is caught by Span. 1 away.
Another good swing just off the end of the bat. A tough play for Span. In a day game, you don't pick it up off the bat as well. It's a tough day for a hitter. First of all, you have a home run taken away from you. Now a nice hard line drive. And it's a sinking line drive. And like I said, that's a tough play for an outfielder in the day where you start to lose that ball in the seats and the fans' shirt.
Chasing Judge back.
You know, a crazy 2 months for Gregorius. Kind of finally just getting back to square one, really. I mean, an unbelievably torrid April and then equally as cold May. Now here in the middle of June, he's back in the 3-hole. Batting 4th actually today, but top of the lineup, more of a hitter now. Last 15 games, 296 average. Last 7 games, a 346 batting average.
That's amazing.
I mean, how do you explain that? He was player of the world in April. You know, it's got to get in your head at some point.
There's no doubt about it. You know, that first 0 for 10, you think that'll change, and then all of a sudden you start thinking about it. And you can't get away from it. And then it was up to what, 3 for 70 or something like that. It's become so mental. It just drags you down. And Didi's done a good job of fighting back.
Popped up shallow left field, and it falls in. Judge will go to second, and he makes it. That'll be a base hit for Gregorius.
I'll tell you what, that is a really, really heads-up play by Aaron Judge, getting the read that there was going to be trouble. Because if you get stuck out there too far on an easy play, you'll get thrown out. But all of a sudden, he's starting to get the read. See, he starts inching towards second base. And you talk about explosive speed to get there. And this is a big play to beat that force. Now you've got 2 men on, 1 out.
Could not agree more. I think 90% of base runners would have been caught on that play.
Goes as a hit for Didi, right, James? Yeah, so, you know, again, you not only help your team, you're helping Didi with a base hit right there instead of a fielder's choice.
Torres swings and misses, 1-1. He certainly performed like a veteran in these spots. 333, 6 homers, and 27 ribbies. One and two.
This is the part where Torres breaks it down. You see a little action in the bully.
A little karaoke there, Coney. It brings back old memories of getting loose, huh?
But this is where Torres really breaks down that leg kick. You know, we noticed, and we've had some great shots of his home runs and the big leg kick and the way he, as you said, Paul, he gets into his legs. This is where he'll break it down and lose that leg kick, spread out a little bit, look to put the ball in play. Protect mode a little more in these situations.
Yeah, much shorter there. You're right, Coney. I mean, the ball away, and you see him lean out. Again, that big leg kick's kind of gone, which makes it a lot easier to be quick and put the ball in play.
It's an advanced approach for a young kid. In today's game, where a lot of hitters are criticized for that exact thing, swinging for the fences with 2 strikes, same swing the whole time. Not this kid. He's looking for an RBI. Punch it the other way if he has to.
And he punches it to right field. It is a foul ball.
Wow, this ball is off the plate away, and just a flick of the wrist to try to keep it in play. Look, that's in the other batter's box. But see, the weight has gone nowhere. He's still out over the plate, and he can still reach that ball.
Missed it by that much on our Yes Mo cam, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer.
He swings and misses and goes down on strikes.
Well, Bradford's tough on righties, and he's going to keep chasing him away. This slider, usually his slider sweeps. That one went down a little more and kind of fooled Torres.
And another trip to the mound by Mel Stoudemire Jr. See Judge on that almost hit. That landed foul. He pulls up.
Yeah, it's usually when you get that mark on your knee and you kind of break it open during the game, sliding in again. It gets sore.
Here's Andujar, 2-run home run, a walk, and a strikeout. First and second, 2 outs. And a strike.
You know, our guys don't miss anything, Paulie.
No.
John Moore down there, you blink, he's on you. Cameraman.
The 0-1. 1-1.
John Moore tells me it was Ray McDonough that picked that one up. That's good stuff. If you're a Major League Baseball player now, it's like the Truman Show. You know, you can't hide.
You're out there, right?
Ground it to third. Seager goes the short way, and that'll do it for the threat in the 7th. No runs a hit. 2 men left on base. We go to the 8th. Matchups over the weekend. Sabathia against Stanek. Gray against Font, more openers. Herman against Snell. Good shot of the sky there. Hyundai scoreboard 4-3 Yankees lead Seattle. One and 0 to Nelson Cruz. So Dylan Betances in the pitch, the 8th. One and 1. And a strike, the breaking ball.
See, over Dellen's last 11 appearances, he's allowed just one hit. One hit.
Yeah, there's some crazy things going on in that bullpen. Where the Holder hasn't been scored on in 20-some appearances. Dellen's dealing. Chapman's dealing.
11 appearances. Okay, he's only giving up one run, or but he's giving up one hit. And in some ways, 6 walks and 20 strikeouts as well. In some ways, he's better than he's ever been. After struggling and the base runners and kind of where's he fit in? Well, he's right back to where he's always fit in, and setting up Chapman in the 8th inning, as good as ever.
Ryan, you spoke to Dellin recently, right?
Yeah, I've talked with him over the last couple of days, and to David's point, Dellin feels like he's better than he's ever been. And in addition to finding some fluidity and consistency in his mechanics, one of the other reasons that he feels that way is he says he's learned to move on after he makes a bad pitch. He said in the past, he had a bad pitch or a bad outing, he really carried it with him, and that's why things would snowball for him. This year, he said, I've gotten some help with that, including Chad Bowling, the Yankees mental coach, and he's learned how to move on after something happens that isn't in his favor.
I got to work with Chad.
I think we bring Chad up here for a broadcast or two, huh? Lock us in a little bit.
Because we don't know how to let things go.
No. You know what, Ryan, to your point, though, there was a time that you could tell how Dellin was going to throw what he did to the first hitter. And, as a young hitter looking back, there were times where if you had a bad first at bat, you had a bad game. And, as you progress in your career, you realize that, one pitch does not make an at bat, and one at bat does not make a game. And it's, it's refreshing to hear somebody open up and say, hey, you know what? I'm better because I'm controlling my thoughts a little bit more.
3-2 now on Seager. Yankees looking for the sweep. They've taken the first 2 games of this series. Swing and a miss. 2 away.
Well, you get late in the game, 1-run game. Every out is important. And again, 3-2 pitch goes to the breaking ball. Not his best, but good enough.
Going to work his way through the middle of the order here in the 8th, 4-5, and now number 6, Ryan Healy.
Two and 0. Three and 0 on Healy with Ben Gamel on deck. and he walked him on 4 pitches. So a couple of strikeouts now followed by the walk, and that brings up Gamble. The tying run is on base.
Well, this always comes into play now with Dylan Betances. Bring Heredia in, a guy who can run a little bit. You know, all bets are off. And I mean, you know that you can run. You know he's slow to the plate. And if you're Dylan Betances, you have to realize, hey, you know what? You can't steal home. They get the hitter. They steal second. They steal second.
Well, you kind of could steal home.
I guess you could. Yeah.
You can't steal first.
But you can't steal home from first. So get ahead and put this hitter away.
So 5 straight out of the zone as he starts Gamble off with the ball, and Romine goes out and talks.
It's a good visit there by Romine to reinforce kind of what Ryan Rucco was saying. Hey, just reset the button there, reboot. The one part with Dellin in the running game is that when you start to lose the strike zone, you take the pitch out of play to help him.
1-1.
Quick little 100 miles for you.
If Dellin can just hold the ball, that he's not going to have a quick pickoff move. He can just freeze Heredia here.
Now, I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, but you sent out the pinch run. Run. Well, all right, there's 1-2 now, so you've almost eliminated while you were out there. Get your read when you're watching from the dugout or watching video.
Yeah, you definitely should be in motion. This is a curveball situation for Betances.
And that would have been the pitch to go on right there.
I think his service was going to pinch run to they score on a double from first, but again, the chances of really squaring one up onto Betances, much better chance to score from second, obviously.
There he goes. Throw to second. Great throw by Romine and a good tag by Didi. So he runs and he gets caught to end the inning.
See, Michael, you dared him and you sent him home.
Great throw by Romine. Right over the bag, and the tag by Didi, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and because of this, nobody left on base. We're going to go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Yankees lead this one 4-3. For heroes, and today we look at Adam Warren. Both grandfathers and an uncle served in the military. Adam himself drafted by the Yankees in 2009, 4th round out of UNC. And in 7 seasons with the Yankees, 235 games, a very respectable 3.18 ERA. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Greg Bird will start it off. Nick Rumbelow has come on, relieving Chasen Bradford. Rumbelow deals a strike. These two know each other well from their time together in the Yankee system. Rumbelow's 26 years old. Hyundai scoreboard 4-3. Yankees lead this one as Bird grounds out to first. 1 away. Ben Gamel has taken over at first. Haniger moves from center to right, and Heredia takes over in center. Rumbelow was a 7th round draft pick in 2013 by the Yankees out of LSU. Major league debut in 2015 with the Yankees. Pitched 17 games, 4.02 ERA. But another victim of Tommy John surgery. So he was out from April of 2016 to June of last year. And last winter, the Yankees traded him to the Mariners. Austin Romine, fly ball right field. Haniger makes the play, 2 away. Late start for Rumbelow this year. He had neck and shoulder problems that kept him out for the first 2 months. But in there now facing his old team. Here's Neil Walker. Yankees lead 4-3. All 4 runs in the first inning. They've been dormant since then. Oh, 0-1. We mentioned Gammel's at first base. It's his first major league inning, or his first major league inning at first base was last year. So certainly not Don Mattingly at the bag. Red Sox 8-0 over the Twins. Top of the 9th inning. One and 2 on Walker. Neal has walked, grounded to short, and struck out. Yankees 4 runs on 8 hits. Seattle 3 runs on 9 hits. Chopped. First base side, Rumbelow to Gamel. And Rumbelow works it easy. 1-2-3 inning. We're going to go to the 9th. The Mariners will have to face Aroldis Chapman. A save situation, when he has the rest, it's only Aroldis Chapman. Got the win yesterday, and he was bouncing around joyously after Stanton's home run. Now, if the Yankees hold on, this would be Seattle's first 4-game losing streak this year. The Yankees are the only team left in the majors this year without a 3-game losing streak. Bottom third of the order against Chapman. Gamel was up at the plate when Heredia got thrown out trying to steal, so he gets a fresh count and digs in against Chapman. And there's a strike. Sunlight bathing the field here at Yankee Stadium. It's going to gorgeous first day of summer. Great day for a ball game in front of the 11th sellout of the year at the stadium. 1-1. Popped up, left side. Gregorius shading his eyes from the sun and makes the play.
Indeed, he caught it early. So Neil Walker, get out of the way. Let's not have any communication breakdown because the sun is tough right now.
Yankees got all 4 runs in the first inning. A 2-run home run by Judge, 2-run home run by Andujar. Mariners a 2-run home run by Kyle Seager in the second, an RBI single by Gamel in the 6th. That's the scoring. Here's Zunino, outside 1-0. Two and 0. Two and 1.
Pretty good swing on a 2-0 fastball there. The one thing Zunino can do is lose one. He's got some pop.
Zunino 1 for 3 today, a double in the 5th inning. 2-2. Three 9-0 for the Mariners, 4-8-0 for the Yanks. We're in the 9th inning. 2-2 count on Zunino. Chapman on the mound. Three infielders on the left side for Seattle's catcher at the plate, a right-handed batter. And the 2-2. 3-2. And the pitch. Foul back the fastball, still 3-2.
Again, it's been such like a slow pace since like the first and second inning. You don't realize where you are. You know, one-run game. Chapman trying to battle here and get through this inning. Big opportunity for the Yankees to sweep a really good team.
32 2/3 innings so far for Chapman this year. Just 14 hits allowed. And 14 walks as well. So 28 base runners.
And Zunino walks. So the tying run on base for Seattle. And another pinch runner. Chris Herman will pinch run for Zunino. And here's Andrew Romine. Only one left on the bench is Gene Segura, one of the top hitters in the American League, but they stay with Romine. And there's a strike. Romine looking down at third base coach Scott Brosius going through the signs. Herman dives back. Unless he's hurt and they didn't tell us, I don't understand how you don't use Segura here. That's the last chance you'd have to use him. It doesn't make sense. The guy at the plate's hitting 150. Segura's hitting in the 330s, 340s.
Sometimes you get veteran managers that want to just give a guy a complete day off, but I'm with you, Michael. One at bat.
A one-run game. You just got to figure that something might have bothered him today, not to even be to start.
Runner goes. Pitch fouled back.
Romine right there trying to cheat steal.
He had it.
First movement, absolutely.
Watch the jump Herman gets. 4 or 5 steps. And Chapman in full strikeout mode with a big leg kick.
Runner goes again. Right back to Chapman. He'll make the play at first. And now the tying run's in scoring position with 2 outs for D. Gordon. By running, stayed out of the double play.
He did. I'm surprised on an 0-2 count that Chapman didn't try a pickoff move there. It almost seems Herman goes on first move. Watch him break. The minute Chapman lifts his legs, if he would have went to first, he had him picked off. But nonetheless, at that point, the only play is first base, and Chapman's going to take the sure out.
So here's the pesky D. Gordon. Not going to try to do too much against Chapman. according to Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times, they're saying that Segura has a swollen right forearm, an infection from a cut on his arm.
That just didn't make sense, and it's a good call on your part, Michael. I mean, that's the one time you would use him. You know, game on the line, one-run game. Throw mine at the plate.
Again, that would have to be some swollen arm not to use him right there. Herman leads off second. Good lead. Gregorius trying to check him back. The 0-1. And Seattle's down to its final strike. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. The Yankees sweep Seattle. And they win their 50th game of the year. Halfway to 100. And their record is now 50-22. And Seattle's thinking, what just hit us?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It ended with a bang last night. Started off with a bang today, and then this kind of flatline. But Chapman went with the slider. Big strikeout, big series. I'll tell you what, the Yankees cannot do much better than they're doing right now. Hitting, pitching. This series, this homestand, has been excellent.
We have a lot to do. We want you to come back with us. Boy, Aaron Boone must feel good about life. His team with 50 wins, not even the end of June. Pretty good stuff. More home runs and another win for the Yanks. We'll come on back right here on Yes.